in chapter 7.2. We're titled the percent proportion. So the main idea is solving problems using the percent proportion. And the vocabulary, again, is percent proportion. Obviously being part of both ideas. The percent of proportion is this guy right down here, where we have part over whole is equal to n percent, where n percent is labeled as n over 100, right? N over 100 equals n percent. So this key here is there for us because P is a part. W on bottom is going to be whole, just like 100% is a whole. When you get 100% on a test, you got the whole thing correct. So these three steps on our left, we will actually come back to the slide to view them, but we have identify placement is going to be the key part to solving these problems. Then we're going to have a proportion where we just cross multiply, then divide, which is labeled in steps 2 and 3. So example 1 is what percent of 32 is 24? Now right off the bat it's asking what percent, so we know the variable we're going to have remaining at the end is going to be n for the percent. So n percent is what we're looking for over 100. So these other two numbers then are going to be the part and the whole. To figure out which one is the part and which one is the whole, we're going to use this guide at the top right of our paper here. Part is the number before or after is. So in this case, is 24. 24 is going to be our part. So part is on top, so we're going to fill in 24 right there. Whole is the number after of, and in this case we have of 32. So to help us out here, we're going to write of right next to our denominator of 32. So of 32. Now, once we are at this stage, we just need to cross multiply and divide. And as you see, we had three variables in this former setup. That's why I had part on top, whole on bottom. But they gave us the part and the whole in the problem, and it said what percent. So we knew we were looking for n, which is going to be our percent. Now when we cross multiply, we're going to do 32 times n first, going to the right because we want to have our variable listed first. 32n, and then on the other side we have 24 times 100. It's going to give us 2400. So now we cross multiply there. So that was our second step here we just did. Now lastly we have to divide. Since we have more than one n, we're looking just for one n. So we need to divide both sides. So we need to divide both sides by 32. So 32n divided by 32. We also have to divide this next side by 32. Then we'll find 1n, so 2400 divided by 32. Bust that out on our calculators here. It's going to give us 75. So now we have n equals 75, and n is a percent, so we have 75%, our answer. Continuing on to example 2. What number is 40% of 125? So again, I'm just going to start off by writing P over W equals n percent over 100. We're going to use this as our guide. That came straight from our main idea page. The first step is to identify placement. So we're going to again use the key. Since they're asking for a number, we already know that we got 40% right here. So we're going to put, we have equal sign 40% over 100. And again, this percent is written there just to tell us that this is where we put our percent. You don't type 40% in your calculators. 40 over 100 equals 40%. And now we have of 125. As we remember from before, the number after of is our whole. So we have of, as a reminder on the bottom, 125. And then we are looking for P, our part. So what number is, tells us, again here, number is going to be the part. So now we are on to cross multiplying and dividing. Again, we want our variable first, so 100 times P will give us 100P is equal to 125 times 40. Do that in our calculator to get 5,000. So we have 100P equals 5,000. The last step we do need to do is to divide by the coefficient of 100. So dividing by 100 here means we're going to cancel two zeros. or in a sense, take 2 of our decimal places off. So we're dividing by 100 on both the top and bottom to get P equals 50. And so that means our part is 50 is 40% of 125. You can also check this in your calculator by remembering from 7-1, if 50 equals 40% of is multiplication, 125, if we did 0.4 times 125, we should get the answer of 50. Right, 0.4 times 125 will give us 50. On to example 3. We're finding the whole here. So that kind of gives it away right here in our example, but we'll go through it again piece at a time. 20 is, so right here, just going really slow here, we have part, because that's a number right before is. So now we have 20 on top, is 80% of what number? Of what number lets us know we are, again, looking for the whole. So putting W on bottom, and we have 80 on top. Again, this is our percent, but I'll put that in parentheses because we don't put that in our multiplication. Cross multiplying next, that's why I have my X there. Cross multiplying, W times 80 gives us 80W. 20 times 100 is going to give us 2 more zeros on our 20 to get 2,000. Now we're on our last step of dividing. Cross multiply, divide. We're divided by 80, that's our coefficient. Divided by 80. We cross out zeros, and now we have 200 over 8 is going to give us W equals 25. So 20 is 80% of 25, correct. Now to example 6. Example 4, slide 6, is lunch. Jim read the nutrition facts on a box of cookies. Every serving of cookies provides 15% of the recommended daily value of sugar. If a serving of cookies contains 3 grams of sugar, what is the recommended daily value of sugar? Now I did see in this sentence, in this problem, a lot of the words of, however, it's going to be a little different because we don't have the basic breakdown that we typically do on top. So what I see here, however, I do see they give us 15%. So right now I'm going to write we have 15% over 100. And so now I got to do a little bit of deciphering here. Again, reading, we see every serving provides 15% of the recommended daily value. So the recommended daily value is what we're looking for is the whole, how much they want to give us for the total day. And this one says each serving is just providing 15%. So the next sentence lets us know every serving, again, this is our key word, so just one serving contains 3 grams of sugar. So 3 grams is going to be our part. And we are looking for the whole grams. So this is just G for our label. So now we have our setup here. Again, we have our labels that we don't need our grams in the situation yet. We're going to cross multiply. We want to deal with the variable first. So we have 15W equals 3 times 100 is going to give us 300. Dividing both sides by 15 because that's our last step. Again, if we're referring to our main idea page, it's going to tell us first step was find placement. Second step, cross multiply. Third step is divide. So now that we're dividing here, 300 divided by 15, well, I know 15 goes into 32 times. So 15 goes into 300 20 times. So our whole is 20. And then we have to remember that we're dealing with grams of sugar. So 20 grams of sugar is our recommended daily value. That is our answer. Again, if you need more help with this, there are peer tutors that will give you a few more examples to be shown. There is also some quizzes you can take to test your learning out.